So I think we're live. By the way, not gonna lie, that promo was pretty badass. So Poker, you gonna do your you gotta do the dance. It's 30 seconds worth of airplay. Do it. No, come on. Do it. You suck. Oh, what the hell is that thing anyways? It's like a demon it's like a demon chicken. Oh, there we go. We got the dance. Beautiful. Alrighty, here we go. Hey, thanks for watching and subscribe to join the Legion. Girls, children of all ages, Knights of Deathbridge proudly brings to you Warcraft Nightly News with your hosts, Derek Scott and Poke Soul. Good evening and welcome to a very special Warcraft Nightly News. We've got a demon invasion hitting us all over the place, and we're coming to you live on a Monday night. That's totally a different night. So, we are the only podcast that sometimes hits the OnStar button to say that there's a demon in front of us, and we might have hit it. I am your host, Eric Scott. With me is the man, the myth, the legend, Poke Bear. And on this particular episode, as we've got only a few hours left of Draenor and stuff, we have been invaded by one of our guild members, Polly Mixon. So on this week's show, we're going to be talking about everything that is Legion. We're going to introduce you guys to Polly, and we might have a couple of major announcements. Also, just so you guys are aware, we are live on Facebook as we speak. So we're not on just one station here on YouTube, but we're on a second one as well. Before we get started, I need to throw a shout out to our partner in crime, Skatronics.com. They are the home of the nerdy pop culture. Guys, you want to head on over to Skatronics. That's 3 X's. They're the triple X version of nerdy pop culture. Bookmark that and make sure that you tell them we sent you. Alrighty. So, Poke, why don't you take yourself off mute?
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Say hi.
Hello, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. It's been just a little over a week since we've been live, and anything new?
Well, there's lots of demons to kill.
Yes, there is. I've seen you all week this week here in the.
Yeah, my job is not very happy about that, but whatever. They get over it.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. But you know what? We're gonna take the focus off of you for a few minutes here. We'll put it back on you.
Really?
Yeah, I know. The show would not survive without you, and I get that. But let's take the focus off of you, and let's put this over onto our to a guild member here, because this is the first time on a live broadcast we have had somebody from Knights of Deathbridge on the show. So, Polly, why don't you take yourself off mute? Hello, how's it going?
It's going well.
What are your plans for Legion tonight?
Staying up late, probably getting some leveling in.
Did you have a nap?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay, how many monsters do you got going on?
No monsters right now. Though I don't know, I may sneak out and get some caffeine before we get rolling tonight.
Well, you have a ton of kids, so hopefully
those little monsters will all be in bed before we get going tonight.
Alrighty, well, you know what? We know who you are. And I've got this cool introduction for you. So I'm going to introduce you, and then I'm going to throw it over to you so that so that you can talk about yourself, because, well, you're good at talking about yourself. So this week we get to introduce Polly Mixon, who has been a member of the show, of the guild, for now almost 39 billion years. She remembers what it was like to ride a Triceratops to the auction hall, and has been a very large portion of KOD gaming since I remember your name. You were Polly Mixon, and Poke, I believe she was attached to your hip long before she even got here. Polly, why don't you tell us all about yourself, your social security number, and all of your major credit card info?
My social security number is 55555. Just kidding.
I
Anyways,
totally
met Poke
thought
back
you
in
were gonna go
2006, back in Guild Wars, actually. And
You're
I
not supposed to talk about Guild Wars. This is a Warcraft podcast.
Yeah, this is a war.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Wah,
Anyways.
wah.
Even if it is a better game.
Congratulations, you've now just been removed from Guild, from Nightly News Guild. Just saying, just throwing that out there.
So I started playing World of Warcraft at the end of BC in 2007, towards the end of the year. And so joined Knights of Deathbridge in 2012.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since. KOD has become my family. And it's a great place. And have no intentions of leaving this guild anytime soon. And looking forward to being with this family as we enter Legion.
Yes, that's a great set of phrases that you use there, Legion and family. Hey, I have been trying to figure this out now that I've got both of you guys here. Okay, which one of you two was in the guild first? Because you guys both came over in that guild takeover that was totally a shock and or surprise for me, and I was sitting in the corner crying, thinking that you guys were just gonna do a hostile takeover and KOD would be DOA. Oh, you see what I did
that
there?
was the plan.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
I got
Yeah,
here.
we
It was
planned a
like,
hostile takeover.
yeah.
we did that a few times actually, and I was like, let's just take this one over too. But then we got here, and I was like, that Derek guy is, not the smartest guy. I'd feel bad if he took advantage of it.
You son of a bitch. Anyways, so which one of you two was here first?
Poke.
Was it me? I thought it was you.
Yeah, it was you, because we were, Josh and I, my husband, we decided we were going to go meet Poke and his family in real life. So we drove out to visit him. And while we were talking, we decided, maybe we should send ourselves Scrolls of Resurrection and rejoin World of Warcraft. And so he contacted one of our mutual friends and said, hey, can you start sending us Scrolls of Resurrection?
And you remember this now, so you are correct.
And then my husband and I actually had to get back home because we were out of state. And that's when we actually joined up, was a few days later.
Fair enough. You see, because I know that you guys all came in like within a day and a half. And I was all panicking and freaking out, and I got a whisper, hey, just so you know, that's apparently the Thanos voice for those people that saw the special broadcast on YouTube. That you guys were coming in, and Poke, you were the GM of Dead on Arrival. And that you guys were all coming in, which of course made me a little bit nervous, because you get another GM into your guild, it can go one of two ways.
Well, it was kind of funny too, because I remember messaging you, and one of my former guild members and a good friend of mine was in your guild, but just one.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, what guild are you in? He's like, Knights of Deathbridge. And I was like, are they pretty cool? He's like, yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm like, all right, I'm going to message their guild leader. So I remember messaging you and being like, hey, are you guys recruiting? And you're like, who is this? And I was like, this is Poke. And you're like, who's Poke? I'm like, well, like I thought one of my guild members had talked about me, and then you're like, "Oh, you're that poke!" Like there's just
yeah.
hundreds of pokes running around. Right?
Well, back in that day, I used to walk around poking people all of the time, and so it could be anybody.
I mean, that's what I was so I remember joining the guild, and then like everybody that I had played with in DOA is like, "Oh, let's join that guild." I felt so bad because I knew you had to just be like, "Oh my god, what is happening? So many people are joining."
It got to the point where I was not wanting to even log in because everything was so out of control. I didn't know what was completely happening, but we can hit more of that history because realistically, when we talk about Knights of Deathbridge, this is it. We really are the founding three members of what it is, and it's funny that on Warcraft Nightly News we get to do our creation story. So we'll hit some more of the history of Knights of Deathbridge here in a few minutes. But you know what, guys, we've got just in 7 hours. 7 hours. We are going to have Legion dropping. Who is prepared?
I am prepared.
Poke.
Well, except for caffeine.
I am not prepared because I have to work tomorrow, and I'm not for sure that I am prepared to stay up that late tonight.
Yeah, you will. You face it, you will.
If it were actually midnight where I'm at, then I would totally do it. But
yeah, I'm getting a little bit bitter. The UK got theirs 4 hours ago.
what happened to all the games doing everything at 11, like Central, 12 Eastern? Like,
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing as I saw the.
Everybody else, it's always 11 Central, 12 Eastern, and then Blizzard's like, nah, we're just gonna wait till the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh wait, it's 2 in the morning in Eastern.
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of people that should be watching this show right now that aren't, and we're okay with this because of the fact that they're having a nap so they can wake up early to do the opening quests.
Yeah, it gives me another couple hours to level my mage before the invasion stops. So
why don't you just do what everybody else did and just pay for it?
Because I like money. I mean,
then why are you on Warcraft Nightly News?
Because I like you more than I like money. Man, that sounds weird.
Wow. So, in the most awkward thing you have ever said, we're just going to leave that
I've
hang
said that
there.
before. It just may or may not have been pay to play when I said it.
Tonight we are working totally blue here on Warcraft Nightly News. So before you rip my dick off, Julie, why don't you go ahead and tell us what is the one thing that you are the most excited for with Legion coming on up?
Well, I think one of the most exciting things is that we're not going to have Garrisonville. We will have a hub city Dalaran that we can go to and actually see other players, and we'll have our class halls, and so we'll be able to see other players there as well. I hope that the class halls are better than garrison mission tables.
Well,
so it kind of sounds like they're going to be.
They kind of have to be just due to the fact that, you know, there's going to be real people there, not just Nat Piggle wandering around. Or
I feel like it would be really hard to make something that bad again. I mean, like you have to really try to make something worse than the garrison.
You can put the garrison in the middle of the Timeless Turd.
Wow.
Like that would be worse, though. That would just be
Farmville.
We already have. We have the Timeless Farmville. You can go collect chickens and stuff like that. That is so awesome. We were talking today in guild chat, and we came up with a really cool storyline that, like, as soon as the servers went live with Legion, that Sargeras's foot would just come out of the sky and crush the garrison. And if you're standing in your garrison, you get the achievement Dynamic Toe Jam. And you have to release and go back to your body, and then go and leave, or take the 10-minute res timer. Somebody also suggested that that we should have another achievement of Camel Toe, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that Sargeras has a PP, not a vajayjay. Just throwing that out there, but it was a really good idea.
I don't know that for sure. If you do, more power to you.
That was funny too, because that was actually the response that I got. Can you be sure? I'm like, no, I really can't. But yeah, so the class halls honestly seem like they're going to be absolutely freaking awesome. We didn't get the beta. Well, Julie, you did, but you didn't actually play the beta.
I did a little bit, but I didn't. It's just so close to the new expansion.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to ruin all the surprises and get burned out.
I would say I don't blame you for that, because I have had times in the past where I got the beta to a game, and by the time the game actually launched, I was like, man, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, me too.
So it was like the last wave of betas I got. It wasn't a very early beta.
Yeah. So the class halls are going to, they look like, and it's funny too, because I'm saying this hesitantly, because on that other old show that we used to do, me and Poke, we were talking how cool the garrison tables were going to be, and the followers, and so on and so forth. So,
man, we were naive, weren't we?
Oh, we totally were. And so I'm gingerly saying I think that the class halls are gonna be okay. They look like they're gonna have a lot less but more all at the same time, where it's not an entire town that we're governing, and that our champions table is going to be a little bit smaller and a little less encompassing.
I just want a house, like, not even a house, just give me an apartment. I would deal with that. One room that I can decorate and put my stuff on the wall, like that would. And yes, I said decorate. Go ahead and make fun of me.
No. That's
interior decorator.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're not gonna make fun of you for that.
I totally would love to have just a room to, like, display things that I have gained throughout my World of Warcraft time. Like, that would be fantastic.
And you can invite people into it to see it, and there's, like, just even a little treasure chest over in the corner that acts as your bank and stuff like that. So it gives you that sort of fantasy that you get with having your own little space, your little corner of Azeroth.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, yes, you pick your race, and that kind of connects you to a major city, but at the same time, it doesn't, because who goes to Exodar?
Nobody.
Who goes to Darnassus?
I do.
Nobody.
I've spent more time in Darnassus in the last month with the demon invasions than I have, granted, in the last decade of playing.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's something to push you there, like if you had let's say a house in one of these cities.
Yeah.
Maybe you would go to some of these cities you don't go to anymore.
Yeah, you get this little apartment above the auction hall in Darnassus, kind of like a bowling alley, and there's like this big neon sign out there. It's like the red light district.
I could totally deal with that. I could totally deal with that.
And then you come and visit Poke's place.
Yeah,
in the red light district. Julie, where would you want a house if you could have one?
Definitely be pay to play though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just like WoW, pay to play.
I'm not sure where I'd have a house if I had one in game. Right now I have my hearth set to the shrine just because it gives you access to, like, everything. So maybe somewhere close by the shrine in Pandaland, or I don't know.
No, it's not
Julie's
Panda
gotta be
Land.
the one to ruin the idea and be
It's-
like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it to be efficient, not because I want a cool house." Jeez, Julie,
I know,
Well,
right?
I would want to be able to make it cool too.
Well, yeah.
so efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're a person or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, it's not Panda Land, it's Panada.
Panda.
Panada. Yes. I am lobbying Blizzard and
I thought the whole
about-
panda thing was supposed to be Chinese, not Canadian.
Blame Canada.
yeah, see, blame Panada.
That actually fits. So I don't know.
Talents went away in Miss the Pandaria, so blame Panada. I keep lobbying that they that in all of the homes in that you could have, Julie, if you had some sort of imagination, over in the Dread Wastes are all igloos, because I think that would be kind of cool. And all of the Panadians live in the igloos.
The polar bears.
Yes! Yes! I got him! I got the face bomb this early on in the show!
Canadians? Are you kidding me?
Yes, Canadians.
Canadian.
Canadians.
Oh my god. I now have a headache. That one word gives me a headache.
All right, Poke. What are you looking forward to coming up here in Legion?
I can't wait to fight the Lich King. It's going to be fantastic.
Son of a bitch! I face palmed you on that one.
I had to. I absolutely had to. Okay. Legion. What am I looking forward to? What have I been looking forward to the first time you asked this question, and the second time you asked this question, and the third time you asked this question?
But every single time it changes.
Nope, it's always the same.
No, it isn't.
Weapons, son. It's always the weapons.
All right, the artifact weapons.
I usually talk about something else because I feel like I've talked the artifact weapons into the ground, but it will always be the artifact weapons. I have so much faith in these. Like,
yeah, I agree. The artifact weapons are fan freaking tastic. Julie, we've never had this discussion with you about the artifact weapons. What do you think of them?
I think it's a great idea. I look forward to being able to make our ultimate weapon. I have not really looked into them a whole lot to find out exactly what the talents are and the changes. Trying to
You're trying
save
to keep
some
it as a surprise for yourself. I do.
Yeah.
I totally understand that, because I mean, if we weren't doing that old show and we talked about the artifact weapons, I wouldn't have looked into them either. I would have looked at the skins and gone, okay, I'm gonna look like a friggin' awesome bear. But other than that, I wouldn't have looked into the talents so terribly much, because I want to be surprised as well.
You want to. I mean, it's not like they've made other expansions that were lacking content, so there's no reason you should want to stretch this content as much as possible. You guys should totally look into stuff ahead of time, because there's really no reason.
Let's face it. By June 15th of last year, if you read all of the news, you played Warlords of Draenor. So yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming on that one.
I'm glad it's something we'll all have access to and not a select few.
Yeah,
Because I felt like this expansion, a lot of characters were made or broken based on their tier sets or trinkets.
Oh,
And with everyone having an artifact weapon, everyone will have the ability to have the same benefits.
Well, and with the ability to adjust those things on the fly, I think that'll help too. Because you're exactly right. A lot of characters were useless almost until they got their set bonuses, or a lot of characters didn't change much when they got their set bonus, which made it not as useful as it should have been. Set bonuses, artifact weapons, things like that should mean something, but it should mean the same thing across the board. It shouldn't mean something to one character and not to another. So
Yeah, and honestly, with the way that they're building they rebuilt everything going into 6.9 or 7.0, whatever we want to call it right this second, where they started building in the fantasies towards the updated classes and stuff like that. Wow, these weapons are going to be freaking awesome. I almost want to play just a shaman just so that I can have freaking Doomhammer.
yeah, I'm running the elemental shaman, but you can guarantee that I'm gonna grab Doomhammer as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Julie, you're going for Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker, right?
Oh, of course.
All right, cool. Somebody needed to say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker here on the show.
Did someone say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker?
I think I heard somebody say
Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. Yeah, maybe it was Noah. Maybe it was last week's guest with Nobu. Maybe he said Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Could have been. He might have said Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Oh.
I think he did say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Yep. You know what? Until you actually do this joke live, Trade Chat just does not understand how much fun it is actually to say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
We just turned our broadcast into Trade Chat.
Yeah, we totally did. For me, the one thing that I cannot wait to actually see is the dungeons. We're getting 10 new dungeons in just over 5.5 hours.
Well, and to be honest, I've been really good at blaming Blizzard for lack of content and such things, and everyone has heard me, and we've all done it at times. But I've also dedicated to myself this time that I am not gonna blow through this stuff and it mean nothing. I am going to take my time. I'm gonna look at the lore. I'm gonna look at the story. I'm gonna do the dungeons in their entirety. I am gonna be that annoying pug who's taking way too long to get to the next boss. I'm not gonna blow through the content and find myself wanting 2 or 3 months in. I'm gonna take my time with this.
Well, yeah, and I like the way that they're doing it. Something that we were not really used to going into Warlords of Draenor was this whole idea and this whole this blank area where we were able to level without the dungeons being, or not the dungeons, the raids being there. There was always this idea that you had to race all the way to max level, and I distinctly remember running through the marshland there. What was that place called, Julie? And racing you on my rogue while you were on your gnome warrior. Back in Miss Pandaria.
Is it the Crossering?
Is that how you pronounce that?
Oh yeah,
the wilds there.
The area that nobody went to.
The Dread Wastes.
Yeah.
I do remember both zones, probably because they're about the same level.
But we were racing each other all the way through, trying to be the first one to get to level 90. Now in Warlords of Draenor,
it's Kunlai Summit.
That's right. No. It was it's the one where you have to kick the emo kid. Yeah. So it's Karasang Wilds.
That one was below the Four Winds.
Yeah.
And that wasn't in Karasang Wilds. That was, what was that zone? I don't even remember.
Anyways,
but that emo kid, that was hilarious.
Yeah. We went ahead and we were racing, and I would do 2 quests, and then you would get caught up, and then you would kick my ass on two other quests, and whereas that was kind of fun, and I was throwing crap at you as we were leveling. With Warlords of Draenor, we got that opposite end of the spectrum where we didn't need to race, and we were able to just enjoy. And the
It is
level.
Crossring Wilds.
Yes! Ha ha! Ha ha!
I was thinking Kunai Summit, and I was getting the two mixed up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is August 29th, 2016. I need you guys all to mark it down on your calendar.
And I said Derek was right.
I was right.
This is the first time on this podcast that someone said the words Derek was right. Great job, Julie, for breaking my run here.
Sorry. See, let me on your podcast and see what I do.
And you break everything. And we're going to blame Canada, right?
Yes.
But legitimately, we get the time to actually relax and experience leveling properly without that overwhelming need to be in a raid this upcoming Friday like we have had to do in the past. And you take your main and you blow through all of the leveling as quickly as possible so that we can start doing dungeons and stuff like that. And while you wait for the rest of the guilds to catch up to us, that's when you start working on an alt and you start to enjoy the quests and the lore. Do you think that's going to be a major factor here in people choosing new mains, Julie?
I do, actually, because things have changed so much that a lot of people won't feel like their main is really their main anymore. So they may choose to try something new, or as they level, find another character that they find really fascinating, especially with the artifacts.
Well, there are a lot of people coming back too, and a lot of them are finding that their character is played so differently that it's not even necessarily what they had originally meant for it to be. I'm trying to say this without making it sound like they've done something wrong, because they haven't. The characters are great. But what it used to mean to be a tank isn't necessarily what a tank is anymore. What it used to mean to be a healer isn't necessarily what a healer is anymore. And even the same with DPS. Yes, obviously DPS will always be damage dealers, but it's so very different from what being a damage dealer was even just one expansion ago, much less 3 or 4, because some of these people are coming back from even BC. So
Yeah, no, you are right, and it's great to see the evolution of World of Warcraft, because from your guys' heyday 90 or 39 billion years ago, and yeah, that's a real number, folks.
We had to walk uphill both
Billion.
ways in the snow just to get to the raids. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, and
We had to wait until level 40 to get a 60-speed mount.
we had to spam in trade chat or general chat to get a group for an instance. Like you kids these days don't know how good you have it.
fucking millennials. You guys get just everything thrown at you. You want a profession? Oh, hey, while we're speaking of professions, today over on our YouTube channel, I did a professions show. What do you guys think of the new professions? Dun, dun, dun. Go
No,
ahead.
wait, you said of the new professions.
Well,
You mean
yeah,
the changes to the professions.
Well, yeah, the changes to
because there
the
is
profession.
no new profession.
I was hoping somebody
saying.
would pick that up.
They kind of nixed that a few expansions ago.
Archaeology is
I was gonna say they learned their lesson on archaeology, I think. So
Archaeology, people still do that?
yes, I still do that. Like archaeology.
I don't know that I like the changes to professions, but I do know that I like the changes to professions from where they were this last expansion.
Oh my god, my head hurts
Like, it's
from
improving.
that was
Like
so
if we
much
went
of-
back like 2 expansions, I enjoyed that professioning more than I'm going to enjoy this. But
We know you don't like professions.
expansion, not so much. Yes, and in fact, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, you know what? I should just drop jewel crafting, because let's be honest, I'm not going to do it. And I should just pick up herbalism, and I should just mine an herb and mine an herb as I'm leveling and sell it, and then I'll have gold. And she's like, let's be honest, you're not gonna go to the auction house and sell that. And I'm like, you're right, I'm not.
Might as well just hold on
I'm
to
gonna vendor
Jewel.
every bit of it or put it in the guild bank, so it's not gonna matter either way.
I've known Poke for a long time. His favorite way to make money is to sell it to the vendor.
Yep. Yeah, he legitimately has a vendor spec. Not everybody else has them. They say they have a vendor spec, but Poke actually has created an entire profession based off of his vendor spec.
Oh, nobody else needs that item. I need it. I'm gonna need repairs next week, so better stick that baby in my backpack because I'm gonna sell it next week.
True.
So Julie, what about you? What do you think about the changes?
I like that we're going to be able to break down equipment into materials to be able to use. I just hope that ends up being a good thing. I mean, I watched the way it's worked in other games, and sometimes there's such a flood of materials on the auction hall that it's dirt cheap for everything, so it's hard to make money off of those things.
Well,
I hope the way it works, it'll work out to our advantage to be able to basically recycle some of the things that we're using.
Well, they actually thought of this one, and this is something that actually I was very, very impressed with. That yes, we can break down all of the gear using the Obliteratium forge, and yes, we're gonna get back some of our mats and stuff like that. And yes, the base mats are going to be dirt ass cheap, because there is going to be way more than what we're accustomed to having. But for those people that are playing the auction hall and stuff like that, we're getting a new commodity, and it is the Obliteratium dust, which is going to help the economy overall. So I really kind of like this idea.
Yeah.
That
I mean, it can definitely work out in a good direction. Like what Julie was saying, though, I think the only thing that could be the downfall is something we've talked about many times. People are efficient beings, and just for instance, I've played a little bit of 7 Days to Die recently, and in 7 Days to Die, you can craft weapons. Every weapon you craft helps you level up your weapon crafting, or everything you do helps you level up these different things. I didn't necessarily do this because I just wasn't thinking about it, but like we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I noticed that my wife has crafted like 300 wooden clubs and dropped them on the floor of our base. And I'm like, why are there 300 wooden clubs on the floor of our base? And she's like, oh, every time I create a club, it levels up my weaponsmithing, and clubs are like 2 wood to make, so I just made a ton of wooden clubs to level up my weaponsmithing. And I'm like, oh my god. That's a super good idea. So in turn, I hope that we don't see something like that in WoW where people are just throwing mats away because, oh, well, I made 500 of these and then I broke them all down. I don't really need this stuff, so I'm just going to throw it on the auction house for nothing. I'm sure it will happen, but I'm hoping that we won't see that happen.
Does.
Yes.
Julie, please talk. I'm gonna start talking about Poke's wife and her wood, and she needs 2 of them.
No, she needed 300 of them.
There's something seriously wrong with you, Derek. Seriously.
Oh god, it's such a bad idea. I should not have had Julie on here because she brings out the worst in me.
Now he's blaming me.
Yes.
That's
Derek,
because
you have been that way for a very long time.
he will blame anyone that he can plausibly blame. So.
Me and Poke have been together for 81 episodes, and I have not made a joke about wood and anything like that. And it's the first one.
Anytime there's a chance for something inappropriate, you bust in like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah!
Oh no!
Nice setup. Very, very nice. Very, very nice setup. Yeah, like I cannot wait for Legion. Like I've had a nap. I've got cold coffee already in my fridge. I'm pulling an all-nighter. I might pull 2 all-nighters just so that I can get as much of the content in as humanly possible.
Coffee is bad enough. Why would you want cold coffee?
Because many of a year of working in restaurants and stuff like that, I learned to drink cold coffee. I would get myself a coffee. I would set it down, and then I would come back to it like an hour later, and it was ice cold. So then I had my staff that would refresh my coffees. They were really well trained, actually. I'm not even gonna lie. So before we end this show, okay, we have a couple of major announcements now. Poke. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and tell people how they can actually get in touch with us, and that sort of thing, because, well, these announcements are actually so big, people are really going to want to talk to us.
All right. Well, if you want to get in touch with us as a whole on Twitter, since Derek hasn't changed the teleprompter yet, you'll go to KOD Gaming 1.
You can get in touch with me at Derek_Scott. Hey, Julie, this is where you're gonna jump in here, okay? I'm now goading you into telling us your Twitter handle.
At GamerGirl78.
Nice. Go ahead, Poke.
And you can get in touch with me at PokeSoul. Which he didn't need to change the teleprompter on that one because it was correct. But if you want to email us, you can email us at knightsofdeathbridgegaming@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/knightsofdeathbridge. And don't forget, you can also, go onto YouTube, look us up. If you would subscribe, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
Tell us if you like it. Tell us if you don't like it. Seriously, guys, the only way we know if you like something is if you give us feedback. If Derek is too bald, we need to know about it.
You guys don't need to know how bald I really am.
If you don't ever want Jolie to be on the show again, we need to know that. If you want me to go away, we need to know that. So please. Derek is now
Julie.
typing that he wants me to go away.
No, Julie.
Oh. Gotcha.
It's because I mentioned Guild Wars, right?
No, it's because you bring out the worst in me.
Derek, everyone brings out the worst in you. I have just spent, 2 years now figuring out how to not bring out the
That's great. You looked at your watch like as if you have some sort of a timer.
I have timers for all of the weird shit that you have caused me to do. Like podcasting. The day I met Derek, I
Wearing a tinfoil hat.
I have this stuff timed. So I know how bad of a day it's gonna be.
Getting used to the man, the myth, the legend, Poke Bear. Giving you a totally different nickname.
I don't even know where that came from. Whatever.
You started leveling your druid, Barely Poke, and that's why it became Poke Bear, because you were a giant teddy bear.
Makes somewhat more sense.
Yeah. And it's stuck a year and a half later, and really, I'm the only person that gets away with calling you Poke Bear.
You're the only person who ever does. If any other human being ever called me that, I would probably stab them.
Kick him out of the guild.
Yeah, right. You'll be going skippying along through Dalaran.
Oh, that's it. You're dead.
All right, Poke. Well, you know what? We have 2 major announcements. Now, normally I make the announcements, but I'm feeling mighty generous. So I'm gonna let you make the first announcement. Because
okay.
I'm nice today.
It totally is not because Derek is nice. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. But again, guys, go and tell us what you think because that's how we come up with new ideas and things like that. And we are having a lot of guests, and we're going to continue to have a lot of guests. One thing that we are going to do is a new show. It will be monthly, and it will actually be called Guild Chat. Are we doing? Is it going to be nightly news Guild Chat? Or
Yep.
are we just
Yep.
tagging?
It's Warcraft Nightly News Guild Chat.
That's what I just making sure before I give people the wrong name here. But yeah, Warcraft Nightly News Guild Chat, and what it will consist of is a group of people from our guild having a conversation about how they feel about the game's current state. So we thought like a weekly show might be too often, so give people a month to kind of take things in and decide how they feel about some different stuff, and then bring it to the show and talk about it. It will be, like I said, people from the guild. We'll try to have some consistent faces. We may also mix some new people in here and there. And
Yep.
again, please, guys, as we move forward with these new endeavors, please, please, please let us know what you think about them, what you like about them, what you don't like about them, so we can continue to change it and make it better and make it fit for everybody out there who wants to listen to our wonderful, ridiculous points of view of this wonderful, incredible game.
Yes. And now, Julie,
Yes.
you are on this particular show because you are going to be one of the major chairs on Guild Chat. So we're going to see you monthly. I'm going to stop right there before this becomes weird and inappropriate. But you are going to be on Guild Chat every month.
You inappropriate never.
Oh, yeah!
There is something about a woman being on this show that makes Derek ridiculous. I swear to God.
Oh God! Oh, I'm so glad that that Draenor is done. I'm in such a good mood. Why don't you give us your take on what Guild Chat is going to be? Because really, we want people to come and talk to you and talk to us and hit you up on Twitter. Give suggestions, give ideas. So what do you think Guild Chat is going to be?
Just getting some of the guild members involved in the podcast and getting some different points of view on different aspects of the game.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, you summed that up really briefly but awesomely. Straight to the point.
We're also gonna kind of try to have some different aspects from different class perspectives too. Right?
Yes, true. Yes, because that is the biggest key to everything.
I mean, I've played a lot of shaman. I have played a lot of paladin. I'm hoping to avoid that this expansion, but we'll see. Derek plays a lot of druid, and he also plays a death knight. And
I'm not playing a death knight this year.
Well, I mean, I'm saying you have. And,
yeah.
Which, I mean, Derek dabbles with a lot of different classes, but Derek's dabbling is not always the most pertinent thing.
You guys remember when I boomkilled?
So we want to get some more information in there and just like see it from different people's perspective, different specs, different classes. And this will also tie in and go along with a lot of things we're doing on YouTube, like different class, walkthroughs and things like that. So it'll be fantastic, guys.
Yep. Absolutely.
It'll help get people more comfortable with talking on a microphone so that maybe they will start making some videos too if they are really good at a certain class or...
Yeah, Discipline Priest walkthrough would be fantastic.
I'll get right on that.
I feel that might be a short video,
I mean,
and
that could definitely help out all the Discipline Priests who are struggling with playing right now.
And
I need to find a really good Discipline Priest to make a guide for me.
Do you have? We're gonna need a thesaurus because I don't think we can actually continually say the word "fuck this class" all the way through an entire show and not sound British. So now, I kind of lied a little, folks. I wasn't really nice. I just didn't want to continue talking about, Guild Chat and stuff like that. But as of 9 a.m. this morning, I get to announce the biggest guest that we've had to date. Last month on our community spotlight, was Nobunaga. Amazing guy. We had a crap ton of fun with him. Another Canadian was on the show. It was awesome.
Oh, it was awful. I felt so overwhelmed and
Yep.
outnumbered.
Yep. Well, next
Invading,
month
they're invading.
we're redoing it, but we're not going to have Nobu. We'll have Nobu again. I promise you guys. It went over incredibly well, but we get to do something and give back to somebody that has given to the podcast community for years.
Well, and us personally too.
Exactly.
And it's great to do that because again, we've talked about this in the past, but when this person, invited us to come to his show and hang out, it really helped validate the fact that, hey, we're really actually doing this. Like,
Yeah.
we
exactly.
have a podcast and it's a thing. Like it.
Yep.
And
so the person that we're going to have is none other than Roho, or however you pronounce.
I forgot you
Yes!
put that name up.
Yes! We're going to have Ro from Realm Maintenance right here on Warcraft Nightly News Community Spotlight, and that will be on September 25th. So he gets to come on the show and butcher my name.
I hope he calls you like Derek or something.
Oh, I know, right?
I pray that he does something.
I know. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Sorry, come on, WoW gods.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are going to be promoting all this month from tomorrow on Realm Maintenance, because it is one of the greatest shows. If you have never seen it or know anything about it, it is legitimately a podcast about podcasters, and his stories are going to basically take over our entire show, and I cannot wait to have Roho on the show and visit with us for a full hour broadcast, maybe an hour and a half, as he chastises me about making fun of his name or anything like that.
Well, and it's so great too because you say it's a podcast about podcasts, but to have someone that is so dedicated to a game that they podcast about people podcasting about the game that they love, that's a step beyond. Like I would like to think that we put a level of work into what we do here, and the amount of work that he must put in. It's not like he's playing a game and reading about a game and talking about it. He's listening to podcasts about a game and talking about podcasts that are talking about the game he loves. So.
Yeah, he's the right. He's the inception of podcasting, and so now when he comes onto our show, it's going to be the kick, so that he is into another level of broadcasting. And honestly, guys, you want to stay tuned. We have so much info coming out here on Knights at Deathbridge Gaming, on YouTube, on Facebook, on our website. It's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. We're going to be doing class guides. We're going to be doing boss guides. We're going to be just talking in amongst ourselves. This week alone, we launched another vodcast, and that was the Random Pug, and it has done amazingly well for not having a lot of airplay, and that is Celis Online and Colgan the Dwarf, and they just run around and do dumb crap and talk about it. It's the same thing that me and Poke do on a daily basis, but we just don't film it. They're filming it, they're talking about it, and that's here. Also, we've had something go on that we've been very kind of quiet about. We've hit the streaming community, and we hit it not just a little bit, but we hit it really hard. One of our lovely guild members, and another old school guild member who's actually older than both of you guys, in terms of being in Knights of Deathbridge, he started doing a live stream. Now, Julie, what was that live stream? Dun dun dun, putting you on the spot.
Another member doing a live stream?
Yep.
I thought that was the random pug.
Nope, that's the new show. Poke, do you know what this is?
Well, I thought I knew what it was, but you said the person's been around longer than us, and apparently I'm not very good with knowing how long people are around.
I know, you caught me off guard. I don't
It
know.
was Seymour, and Seymour has been doing No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
He started last week, and we did this very quietly. We snuck it in.
But
We snuck it in under the radar to kind of get used to the whole live streaming here on Knights of Deathbridge live. And so we snuck it in, and we've got like 5 episodes in, all just sitting there, just waiting. And I'm turning one on like right after we're no longer here, so that people have something to do other than watch a druid tank guide, or a demon hunter.
it's a really good druid tank guide, though.
It really is. I like the guy who did it. I love his voice.
No, the guy who did it really seems kind of like I don't know. He's a little off-putting, but the guide was good.
Julie did a really good job of being on the show this week. I'll do this for you guys. Julie, you are now going up into the top right corner because this is Poke's last episode. And Poke is now going to go into the center as if he's the special guest. And there we are. By the way,
I mean, we all know I'm special, so
Yeah,
heck,
yeah.
it fits.
Alrighty, guys. Well, this has been Warcraft Nightly News. We might not ever have another show because the demon invasion's about to hit us. So, Julie, what do you got to say before we sign out?
See you guys on the flip side.
She had to be totally cool and say something awesome, didn't she?
Yeah.
Now I feel like my normal continue to listen and let us know how we're doing. It's just less than cool.
Yeah, maybe I should switch you guys back because she tried to be cool and it worked. Like the Fonzie sort of deal.
So she's gonna take over the show and then you'll have nothing left.
Yeah, I know. Damn
No,
it.
don't leave me alone.
No. Alrighty, Poke. What do you got? What do you got before we're
You've
gone?
already heard it. Keep listening and let us know how we're doing, guys.
Alrighty, guys. Well, this has been Warcraft Nightly News. It is a Knights of Deathbridge gaming production, and I would like to thank you all very much for tuning in for a grand total of two episodes. Wow, that totally loses something from the Warcraft off the record days, doesn't it?
Well, we'll get there though. We got this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we will definitely get there. I'm Derek Scott.
I'm Poke.
And I'm Polly.
And remember, kids, it's all fun and games until the special guest is better than your co-host, and then you've got a creation of a new show. You guys have yourself a wonderful week.